name is Steve Lee. I'm the Executive Director of Foundation for Environmental Stewardship, a youth-led, youth-serving, sustainable development charity that is leading the 3% Project. The 3% Project is going across Canada 4 times from BC to Newfoundland once per semester, mobilizing 1 million students, that's 3% of Canada, in 500 different high schools. In this video, I aim to introduce both components of the 3% Project, the school-wide educational assembly and the action project that follows the assembly. We begin with the Sustainable Development Goals as a framework for the future we want. We want a more inclusive, fair, prosperous, and sustainable future, eradicating extreme poverty, fighting climate change, reducing inequalities, achieving gender equality, peace, security, justice. This is the kind of future we want. And there are 2 systematic challenges to achieving that kind of future. The first one is the rise of exponential technologies, or sometimes dubbed as the 4th Industrial Revolution. And these are technologies like artificial intelligence, 3D printing, Internet of Things, blockchain, etc., etc. And the other set of challenge, the second one, is climate change. In the presentation, we observed both of these things. For climate change, we take a look at this in less than 10 minutes, where we explore the science and human cost of climate change in its social, economic, and political arenas. Then we look at the 4th Industrial Revolution. We look at what an industrial revolution is and a variety of technologies like artificial intelligence, machine learning, autonomous electric vehicles, 4D printing and organ printing, advanced robotics, wearable technology, implantable technology, gene editing, and many others. We look at both the opportunities and challenges of these exponentially accelerating technologies, especially their social, ethical, and philosophical implications. And then we look at several dozen solutions that leverage the accelerating technologies to solve climate change in 5 different categories of energy efficiency, renewable energy, sustainable lifestyle, policy advocacy, and awareness. And then I conclude the presentation with 3 take-home messages. The first one is voting with your dollars, where students are encouraged to spend and invest their resources in alignment with the vision of the future we want. The second one is voting in elections, where students are encouraged to better engage their civic duties to enliven civic discourse and democratic participation. The third is action project, where students are given opportunities to exercise the muscle for sustainability problem-solving skills. And this is where I would like to introduce the mentorship program we offer to encourage students to run action projects. Immediately after the assembly, students who are currently running initiatives in the school, or those who want to, gather for an extended session at a separate classroom after the assembly. And these students generally happen to be from leadership class, student council, environment club, social justice club, athletic club, or others. The idea is to integrate sustainability into the projects that students are already doing, not necessarily starting an entirely new environmental initiatives, although that is possible. We focus on working with the students on real employable skills as they work on action projects. We have a culture in high schools of celebrating students' projects as long as they're well-intended, regardless of its results. And most of them would graduate hoping that they have made a difference, as opposed to knowing that they've actually made a difference. And this is why we have a strong emphasis on data collection, baseline studies, communicating results, forecasting projections of their results, and other tangible skills. The way students are going to get better at sustainability problem-solving skills is by identifying the biggest sustainability challenge in their community and give it all they've got to try to solve it. And through that process, they're going to get better and stronger at sustainability problem-solving skills. And there are some of these examples on our website, and I hope to see your students practicing their problem-solving skills through projects extraordinary like these. I want to finish this video by sharing with you why I started this project. My background is in global governance and policy development. I started as a child rights activist through UNICEF when I was in high school, and that opened up a lot of doors for me with climate policies and to sustainable development policies. And then I had the joy of working for 3.5 years on sustainable development goals policy framework development through the United Nations Major Group for Children and Youth, a General Assembly mandated policy engagement space for young people that work on intergovernmental and multilateral policy processes. I strongly believe that over the next 30 to 50 years, we're going to see problems that are much more difficult than climate change. With the rise of exponential technologies, we're going to see robots with machine learning capabilities, increasing inequalities through automation, enhanced individuals through organ printing and gene editing, food security, forced migration, bioterrorism, cybersecurity, microterrorism, super diseases. These are all problems that will fundamentally call into question the very idea of self, society, and what it means to be a human being. Our framework for public discourse, consensus building, legislative processes, economic transactions, all of these things are just not ready for the speed at which the exponential technologies are accelerating. And these challenges require solutions that are global, holistic, and systematic in its approaches. Climate change is the first of its kind for such a problem. This is why over the last half-century, the global community has had such a difficulty implementing solutions to climate change when we perfectly well understand what it is and what the solutions are. And therein lies the exciting opportunity. The way we solve climate change is going to set the rules of how we solve future problems that require holistic, global, systematic approaches like climate change. And this concept, although abstract and unfamiliar, is broken down and recapitulated throughout the presentation to encourage students to imagine the future we want and their roles as the architects of that future. And the action project then becomes an invaluable practice opportunity to better prepare for the future. I hope to come to your school and engage your students soon, and together we will create a more inclusive, fair, prosperous, and sustainable future.